the problem I solve, what if what I'm passionate about is slightly different than the problem I solved? I'm going to scramble you here a little bit because I've thought about this. When I started in the business, I was solving financial problems for people.
Yeah.
But my passion was actually to help children because I was working in an orphanage.
Yep.
But when you would get around me, you'd say, this guy's unbelievable solving these financial problems, and he's doing it because everything he does, 20% of it's going to help these orphans and these kids. And so the convergence of those two things, even though they were different, worked incredibly well for me. I know ideally the problem being solved would somehow be correlated to the passion. I get that. But does that necessarily have to be the same thing?
I think that it almost never is in the beginning.
Great. Okay.
In fact, the fastest path to cash is to figure out what problem can you solve the fastest for somebody else.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. I started my speaking career.
Mm-hmm.
The very first way I made money was I was in a contest called the World Championship of Public Speaking, and I was 20 years old, and I thought, hey, if I win the World Championship, maybe that'll launch my career. The problem was I wasn't funny. And so I spent like 18 months learning the psychology of laughter and humor. And so the very first courses I taught was the psychology of laughter and how to be funnier. And that was how we started. And then, I had gone door to door 14 hours a day, 6 days a week on straight commission for 5 summers in college. And so I knew something about sales. And so we started a sales training business, and we coached salespeople. So they lead to one another. But look at what you're doing now, Ed. You are living the convergence of those two now.
Correct.
But the way to make money fastest is to go, what tactical problem can I solve for people?
Okay.
Right? And do that. And you go, if people pay for solutions to problems.
Yeah.
So if you need money, it's because you're not solving enough problems. You're not adding enough value, and you're not clear about what you do. And that's why nobody's hiring you, or they're not paying you enough money.
This is exactly right. By the way, listen, this just flies by people's ears. They're driving, or they're on the treadmill right now, or they're walking, and they're like, yeah. Listen to what he just said. If you don't have a lot of money, more than likely it's because you don't solve, or people don't believe you can solve problems, and you haven't got clear. Everybody, my family here in the audience, you must get more and more clear about what problems it is that you can solve, and being better at communicating specifically that you can do it. And the second one, and I took you off track a little bit, was what are you passionate about? So I want you to stay on this helix a little bit, the 6 parts, but listen to this, everybody. This is the thing. This is the path. And yes, it's a broad concept, but the more you begin to contemplate this idea of, you know what, he's right. I'm not completely clear, nor are other people in my brand what problems I solve. Whether you're an electrician apprentice who's looking to get hired into a union job, all the way to I'm an entrepreneur trying to scale a cannabis business. I don't know, right? Like, this applies to everybody. Heck, I think it applies to what kind of a great father or mother you are.
Totally.
Right? That my mother's amazing at this, right? This is the problem she solves for our family, right? My mom's so passionate about our family, or this or the other thing. So keep going on the 6 parts of the helix.
Yeah, so I would say, to wrap those first 2 questions up, you make a living from the problem you solve, but you make a life from the passion that you chase.
That's good. Really good.
Like, if you make money and you just make money, eventually you're burnt out. That's a great place to start, because you got to pay the bills. Like, you need money to be able to do stuff.
Yep.
But then ultimately you got to chase the passion. And it's not just like this fires me up, but also what pisses you off. What breaks your heart? Like, what makes you cry? What makes you look at it in the world and you go, I'm not okay with that. I'm not comfortable with that. I won't accept that. We believe that is God's divine design of your humanity, that what breaks your heart for a reason, because you were created to do something about that problem, and your real magic will come from living in the passion.